And we're live with Acacia Ridge. How's it going, guys?
We're doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing freaking awesome. I'm Kiefer, and what are your guys' names and I guess your role in your band?
I'm Christian Mayfield. I'm the vocalist.
I'm Anson Clark. I play bass and violin for the band.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's 3 others that couldn't be here with us today, but they send their
Unfortunate.
best wishes.
So the 3 songs that you have out right now, which one would you want to listen to first if you just had to choose from the 3?
Let's listen to, you want to do
Malevolence.
Beyond the Malevolence? Yeah, let's do Malevolence.
That'll be on the great.
All right.
Either one. Those are 2 most popular at the moment.
Malevolence by Acacia Ridge.
Yeah,
Here we go.
cool.
I know you tried to find your way, and I know that you regret the way you lied. Made me promise not to burn you at the stake where you belong, and I know you thought of me each time you cried. Tell my brother that I'm grateful, and I swear it's not your fault. I appreciate the preview of my flaws. Came to terms with all my demons, and I know your heart was right. And I'm sorry for the pain that I must cause. I know I'm desperate for control. I need to face that on my own. Please understand that there's a consequence. I don't rely on empty words. I don't deny how much this hurts. Please understand that there's a consequence to your malevolence. Tell my brother that the purpose of his lies have found their mark, and I'm scared I've gotten lost along the way. Still you speak when you have nothing left to say. I know I'm desperate for control. I need to face that on my own. Please understand that there's a consequence. I don't rely on empty words. I don't deny how much this hurts. Please understand that there's a consequence to your malevolence. Your malevolence. Oh, my brother, I'm so sorry. I need to face that on my own. Tell my brother, I know I'm desperate for control. Tell my brother that I'm sorry. I didn't want you to get hurt, but I hope you feel the guilt begin to burn. I know I'm desperate for control. I need to face that on my own. Please understand that there's a consequence. I don't rely on empty words. I don't deny how much this hurts. Please understand that there's a consequence. Your
And that was Malevolence
That's
by
right.
Acacia Ridge.
Acacia Ridge.
Yeah, Acacia. So, Anson, you were telling me when we first spoke before we ever did this interview or whatever, that obviously you don't do vocals, you do violin and bass.
Yeah.
So you really focus more on like the sound or whatever you're doing with your
More
instruments,
just like the instrumental aspect.
and then you don't really think about the vocals really, or
You
do
know, when we're first writing out stuff, we're trying to build riffs mainly, just figure out something that's groovy and cool. And overall, you know, the lyrics do have a huge part though. Like once the song comes all together and then the lyrics are added on top of that, they're more than just the icing on the cake. You know, I find myself when we're practicing during rehearsal, like I'll always be mouthing the words and like just jamming out. Super cool. And like, especially when we get a really cool chorus that's just catchy and like doesn't get old, I always find that I'm singing along with it. So I think that's really like a very large key that grabs people's attention and attitude towards music. But then of course, instrumental, that makes it too. But
And Christian, obviously you are the vocalist, and you write all the lyrics or a lot of them.
Yeah, actually, all the lyrics.
All the lyrics.
Yeah,
I
on
mean,
this
I want to
album,
give you
yeah.
guys credit, but no, you guys didn't really help me out with that.
I know Brendan, our drummer, always is like, "Hey, can I help write lyrics?" But,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For the,
And he'll
most
send
part.
me little ideas, but I don't know if any of them made it onto the album that's coming out.
And you mentioned that there are changes to the lyrics at times, and then you might end up going back to the old
definitely.
ones on accident.
Yeah. So our general process is we usually, like, the vocals usually come last. We try to write all the guitar and all the music instrumental work first. So as we're doing that, I'll kind of have a rough draft of what the vocals and the lyrics are going to be, but usually there has to be some changes, and that can get a little confusing sometimes, and I'll mess up and start singing something that's not the lyrics anymore.
It's great when we like come up with something that's funny as a joke, and then we actually end up singing that or like thinking that
There's
more
been a
than
few times where we've been joking about something, then it actually turned into like, hey, that's actually kind of cool. Let's try that.
Yeah.
So at some point you might end up going back to an old lyric, because you have two sets of lyrics that fit the riff or the song or whatever, but it's just the wrong one that you decide not to go with. That's
pretty much.
interesting.
And over the span of writing an album, stuff gets cut and stuff gets added, and then sometimes the stuff we added gets cut and we bring in the stuff that we cut again, and there's a lot of that. So I've been working pretty hard the past few months trying to get straight what exactly made it onto the album and what didn't. So
I'm certainly impressed with like the production value, or at least how it sounds. It sounds like it's produced amazingly. So where do you guys do that, and how much process goes into like where you do it and how much?
So we record everything ourselves, and then we send the raw tracks to one of our buddies we met through Instagram. He lives in Germany, and his studio is Uberlarm Studios.
Uberlarm, it's a
Uberlarm,
German word that
yeah.
means above sound. I
Above
don't know if we're
sound.
saying that right, but and really the only reason we feel comfortable recording at home is because we're comfortable with our gear. I mean, if we weren't 100% confident in any of the stuff we were using to record, we would have gone to a studio in Salt Lake to do the whole thing. But
Gotcha.
we have really nice gear too, so
not to pat ourselves on the back because it cost a pretty penny, but
it's a pain.
So we felt confident enough that we can record it all on our own, but then we send it to a buddy of ours in Germany to get it mixed and mastered, and he does a great job.
It's great because we learned so much too.
Seriously.
This whole first album has been awesome.
That
Just a
is
learning process.
that is really cool. And like you're not wrong about equipment being expensive. Like these SM7Bs are like 500 plus a
we
piece.
have
That's the one I had to buy for recording vocals.
Yeah, but we had a staff member here. He had people recording instruments into these mics. I'm like, bro, like they don't need to be like recording instruments into these are for your voice.
I mean, if that's all you
right?
got,
if it's all you got, then you're chilling.
Yeah.
But I mean, a dude's just like banging drums into the freaking MS7B. I'm not exactly sure.
Funny thing, you use that as an example, but actually we've been using this as a hi-hat mic because people say if you take the pop filter off, it's actually really, really good for hi-hats. So not the whole drum set, but a specific part of it. Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
So the next two would be Beyond the Gray and Anarchist. I listened to Anarchist today in my car, and I was like, this goes hard.
That's a heavy one. Yeah.
Which one you want to listen to next? Beyond the
Let's
Gray?
do Beyond the Gray.
Beyond the Gray.
Let's not scare people off.
All right, let's do it then.
we're the bearers of a debt we cannot pay. Our names are written on the builder any day. The ink is blood, we will not sign, we won't obey. Another life, another night. Walk with me beyond the grave, beyond the grave. Walk with me beyond the grave, beyond the grave. As the prodigal potential burns away. Throw away the past. Stand and face the consequences. Make the fires last. Burning through the weak defenseless. This is no beyond the grave. Walk with me beyond the grave, beyond the grave. As our prodigal potential burns away, as our prodigal potential burns away.
Beyond the Gray. That
Groovy.
was pretty great.
That's that
Pretty
one.
great.
Funny
we-
story. That song actually went from our least favorite on the album to our favorite after we got the mixed one back.
Really?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't like that song a whole lot, and the second single we released was going to be a different song, the one we're releasing this Friday. But we got that one back, and it was so much cooler than we thought it was going to be. So
Like when it got mixed and mastered, and it just came
Yeah.
back sounding like so much better.
yeah, we
Oh,
had
yeah.
the raw recordings, and we're like, yeah, it's cool, but we've written cooler stuff, and then
Mhm.
we sent it off and got it back, and like blew our minds.
That's
with,
awesome.
with the mix. So yeah,
So we were just talking about earlier when the song was playing. People can listen to you anywhere, really.
anywhere.
Yeah. So that's just wanted to mention that Spotify, Apple Music, songs are on YouTube.
Mhm.
Anywhere you
YouTube.
listen, you can
Anywhere.
find it.
Yeah, if you can find music on whatever site, we'll be on there. Yeah.
Acacia Ridge.
Yep.
Like about that song.
That's a fun. Well, that one actually was
You started pretty much building it, right?
kind of. That was. It started out with we were just playing with new stuff, and our guitarist Flip came to us with the intro part, that really cool light and acoustic bit. And then it turns into this really cool, really driven riff with the dual guitars, and it reminded me of a song I'd written about a year ago that I just never did anything with. So I pulled that out and then tried to, I think I had to slow it down a little bit and stitched it in. So that song's really kind of two different songs that we were able to put together. So yeah, some cool stuff.
I love
there.
it. He always just pulls out his phone. He's like, "Hey, check this out," and like it's from like forever ago, and it's like a riff we use in one of the songs.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, that first one, Malevolence, I wrote in 9th grade and then totally forgot about until we were writing an album. So
Wow.
Just like part of it, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
that's
we-
so cool.
Then we built it all together. Yeah.
put
So,
some finishing touches.
In the third song, Anarchist, there's some screaming in there,
There's
right?
quite a bit of
There is.
screaming in there.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's. I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure because like I was in the song, I was like, this is great. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm into it. I don't listen to that much with that much screaming in it, but like when I do listen to it, I enjoy it.
Good.
Um, have you seen that video on YouTube where this guy goes around with a microphone?
That's Jared Dines,
and is
dude.
like,
We love that guy.
Yeah, he's like, can you give me your best scream, your best metal scream? And people are like, I can't do it.
You know what's funny? He's in line for his own show.
Really?
Yeah, those people were waiting to see him, and he went out and like.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's his show. Yeah, so he went out and they were all laughing, and then they all went inside and saw him play on stage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So, being a vocalist, obviously, you obviously in the first 2 songs, it's a lot of melody and like really like good singing.
Yeah.
When did you start screaming around the same time you really focused on singing?
Kind of. I was definitely a singer first. And I mean, I'm way more into, rock and roll and blues and jazz and that sort of thing. So screaming was pretty far out of my interest level.
What's awesome though is he has improved like so much. Since the beginning of the year, or just like we've been together, our band pretty much a little over a year.
It's been a while, yeah.
But it's funny when we listen back to like demo recordings, his screaming has grown
I don't like to listen to our demos anymore, but. Yeah, it took a lot of learning and a lot of trial and error, and they definitely weren't very, very good at first, and I still think they have a lot of room for improvement. But
however, our drummer Brendan though, so a lot of the screams you hear on that, so he has his screams in there, and his are a little more higher pitched.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair.
Our drummer. He's just pulling it out of his butt, like.
Yeah, he's into really heavy music, so we always knew he was able to do that. And if you see us live, I do all of the screams live. But on Anarchist in particular, this is the only one where our drummer Brendan got to show off his voice a little bit. So he's about half of the screams in that song. You get to hear him.
And it was cool because when we put him in our little studio closet to do vocals, it was crazy when we actually listened to the recording compared to when he was screaming in like person. Sounded completely different person.
Very interesting.
Scared the heck out of us, man.
It's like a whole nother monster.
We didn't know he had that in him.
So when you guys do play live, how many of you do you sing along at certain points, or are there more than one microphone, or is it just mostly you just singing and no one else really has a microphone to like sing along?
Half-stack, Alex,
our rhythm guitarist does do some rhythm, and now that we're done with the album, it's coming out. That's something we've been working with is. How much of the vocal harmonies that are on the album are going to make it to our live shows and who's going to sing what part. So most of the harmonies are done by our rhythm guitarist, but you, Anson, get a little part in Anarchist.
I forgot. Yeah, I totally forgot. I actually do some low vocals.
Yeah, he is. Cool. Well, since he has a deeper voice than I do, whenever we do like a talking section is what we call it, where it's just supposed to sound really menacing, I'll say it about where my voice falls, and then he'll do it a lot deeper, and you put them over each other, and it sounds super demonic and really cool.
Sounds way cool, yeah.
Well, we can go ahead and listen to Anarchist now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
Had a quick overview of that one.
If everyone's still listening,
yeah,
made it this far.
Let's go for it.
Chaos unfurled. martyr. He owns his life. He won't abandon. He's full of fight. It's his decision to burn the world. On what condition? Chaos and found. He lies awake. Cigarettes on the floor. Time flies away. He chooses to ignore. He's trying to create the one thing we're fighting for.
Bro, killer. I love that, dude. That's awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Not to say the other songs aren't awesome too, but that one just gets me
No,
going.
that one
a
has a
little bit.
special place in my heart. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that one.
We got a lot like that on the album. We got some crazy ones that are.
Dude, I'm a big fan already. Like,
Good,
I
man.
obviously
That's what
when
we
you
like to
approached
hear.
me to do the show, I was like, let me listen to the songs.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm a fan.
Thanks, buddy.
Good, thank you, man.
So when you guys hit million streams and you guys,
we'll come back,
Do
man.
it.
Hell yeah.
bro, when you guys like do a tour, I'm gonna be like, hey man, come take another Instagram picture for me.
Dude,
Dude,
yeah,
we
man.
will, man. Totally.
Cool.
So anything else about that song that you just didn't come to mind before? Because that was just freaking awesome.
Well, I think we said, while we were listening to it, I don't know if everyone
Oh, yeah.
heard, but this is the only one on the album where you get to hear our drummer, who can also scream pretty well. Well, not pretty well, really well. This is one where we kind of let him off the leash and let him do some of the screams on that one.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. And then you mentioned when you do play live, you might end up needing to get him a mic just for those short parts.
Maybe, yeah.
Live.
At the moment, whenever we play that live, I have to do everything,
Mhm.
and it's really hard to, jump so quickly from doing really heavy screams to the melodic stuff. So
Yeah.
we might, put a mic in front of him just for that one song, so I don't have to.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, just those back-to-back screams like at the beginning of the song.
They're pretty, yeah. It's
Once
hard
we
to
get
do.
money to buy a mic, we'll do that.
Well, I think we have one. It's just a matter of, yeah.
Setting it up and get going.
We have a lot of venues on our to-do list.
We're actually playing at a festival in July called
Cool.
Incandescence.
Incandescence.
Here in Utah?
It's in Tooele,
Grantsville?
I think. Oh yeah, well, which
Grantsville.
would be in Tooele,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But yeah, this cool festival that we luckily had an in on, so we're headlining the rock/metal section of that. So
Very cool.
yeah, I don't know if tickets have gone live yet, but they will hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, to those who are listening, follow Acacia Ridge on Instagram. Obviously, you guys will be putting
Instagram,
updates on there,
Facebook,
whatever
Facebook,
you're up
we're
to.
on Twitter.
Twitter, and then Anson occasionally goes on Twitch and
Oh, yeah.
films himself recording.
You do
stuff.
too. Yeah, we try to
Yeah.
Twitch a little bit, trying
Dude.
to get some more followers.
I
don't
love
know.
Twitch.
We haven't
dude.
seen so much return there, so we'll see if we keep that one up, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, those 3 songs, they're awesome. So,
Thank you, man. Thanks,
freaking listeners, go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, go to wherever you listen to, and follow and listen. So, go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. We should definitely do it again when another project comes out, or
Totally,
even
yeah.
when your next song, one single or next song comes out, we'll do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Our next song comes
Absolutely.
out this Friday, so
Mhm.
everyone make sure to keep an eye out for it.
Awesome.
Oh, we also have a Kickstarter. I don't know if anyone
Oh,
cares.
we should have. Yeah,
However,
we
Yeah,
should have brought that up
mention
earlier.
I totally spaced that.
Yeah, you can find links to that on all of our social media. But,
Kickstarter, Acacia Ridge.
Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. It was
Thanks,
awesome.
buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
KWCR Wildcat Radio signing out. I'm DJ Kinky Keef, and we just did a thing with Acacia Ridge. Heck yeah.